Howdy, and welcome to these crazy times. There might be people out there who are rather stressed due to many different kinds of reasons. Some they did not really experience real stress situations maybe in their lives, or maybe they just have thought that yes, this was very stressful. But I can assure you it is scalable. The amount of stress which life can provide is much bigger than you ever have thought. But anyway, I have been dealing with large amounts of stress, and all my videos and all my work and the things I do, they are in a way related to stress situations. To make the best out of it, the sacred gift of anger and such things. I really consciously try to not sound angry. And sometimes it's rather hard. Yeah, now the snow plowing machine has come. Yeah, it sounds like a small earthquake with a diesel motor attached. But anyway, and there are things like PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, and all kinds of things. I don't know, I have been reading about that, but since it is post-traumatic disorder, I cannot really live up to it because I'm still in it. So I'm excited to get once past this, and I can say that, yeah, I can identify probably with a PTSD. But now, at the moment, it's just not possible because it's not over yet. But anyway, study hints at the potentially crucial role of shear stresses in the activation of pain-sensing neurons. That's from the medical press and dated 5th December 2022. And I am diagnosed with fibromyalgia, this kind of pain, stress, whatever, brain malfunction, brain inflammation, or whatever it is. I've been reading about that too. So I know what it means living in a constant state of stress. Because the day I wake up and have no pain, I know I'm dead. It's as simple as that. But now let's dive into that. It's more or less a read-through, and there is a few interesting things I stumbled across when reading that. So for once, I've been reading this before. Feelings of pain and discomfort are crucial to the survival and evolution of animals as they help to detect injuries or existential threats and pinpoint their location in the body. Pain signals are produced by nociceptors, sensory neurons that respond to damage to the body and send threat signals to the spinal cord. Despite I've been reading this, I just read it once. I wasn't practicing reading this, so. But anyway, doesn't matter. Nociceptors, i.e., neurons sensing pain, are essentially bare nerve endings that can be found in all parts of the body, including the skin, muscles, bones, and viscera. While many neuroscience studies have investigated their structure and function, the mechanisms underpinning their activation remain poorly understood. Researchers at University of Massachusetts Medical School and Worcester Polytechnic Institute have recently set out to better understand these mechanisms by conducting experiments on fruit fly larvae. Their findings, published in Neuron, which is obviously a magazine, I guess, suggests that these neurons specifically respond to shear stress, i.e., stress caused by two forces of similar strength acting on opposite sides of a body and moving in opposite directions, but do not respond to stretch. The physiological relevant forces involved in activation of nociceptors are still unclear. Ying-Xiang, the senior author of the paper, told Medical Express, "The prevailing view in our field is that nociceptors should be activated by stretch of cell membrane. However, when examining nociceptors in Drosophila, i.e. fruit flies, we found surprisingly that stretch did not activate nociceptors, which basically means their assumptions were totally wrong. The key goal of the recent work by Xiang and his colleagues was to identify the specific forces that lead to the activation of these pain-sensing neurons and elucidate the underlying transduction mechanisms. To do this, the researchers first conducted behavioral experiments where they poked the fruit fly using a calibrated fishing line. In the absence, that's a way of fly fishing, I guess. In the absence of stimulation, larvae tend to move forward with frequent changing of direction, Xian explained. However, when we poked a larva, it stopped moving and displayed a 360-degree body rotation. This rolling was interpreted as nocifensive behavior, i.e., animal behavior aimed at withdrawing from danger. The strength of response was measured as a percentage of animals that rolled in response to poking. Think about it. They are poking larvae and they study your brain, how you feel, and why do you feel like that? Just poking a worm, It's in a way funny to think about. Using computer modeling, the team found that poking a fruit fly larvae could elicit two different kinds of forces, stretch and shear stress, to stimulate nociceptors. In the following calcium imaging experiments. Calcium. How is calcium included in that? I don't know what is calcium imaging. I have no idea. But since I have been talking extensively about white rivers, mountain water, cryptodomes, and all these kind of things, conductivity, pH of environments, in ourselves, in nature, and all this kind of thing. Calcium. It came across here. Maybe this was a trigger to make the video in the first place. I don't know. But anyway. In the following calcium imaging experiments to explore which forces are responsible for nociceptor activation, the researchers stretched the larvae's nociceptors or apply a shear force to them. They found that the larvae's nociceptors were activated by shear stress, but not by stretch. They were also able to identify the specific type of ion channel that is found in nociceptors and is activated by shear stress, called Transient Receptor Potential A1, TrpA1. Interestingly, shear stress appeared to be able to activate TrpA1 in a small patch of cell membrane devoid of cellular environment, providing evidence of TrpA1 as a molecular sensor of shear stress. They further show the effect of shear stress was through modulation of membrane's fluidity. Our study has two notable findings, Xiang said. First, we showed that shear stress could be a physiologically relevant force that is critical for activation of nociceptors. Second, we provided evidence that TrpA1 is a shear stress sensor, and this property is conserved for TrpA1 derived from Drosophila, mice, and humans. Most known mechanosensitive ion channels in the body of animals are known to be sensitive to stretching. The recent work by this team of researchers shows that TrpA1 is not. This key finding suggests that mechanical forces, other than stretching, could be involved in the sensing of pain. Yeah, think about it. There's like something mechanical going on, probably. It matters. Pain matters because, obviously it does something physical. This key finding suggests that mechanical forces other than stretching could be involved in the sensing of pain. In the future, it could pave the way for further studies into TrpA1 and other nociceptors, potentially leading to new and important discoveries. During our investigation, we noted that TrpA1 is highly expressed in the Drosophila gastrointestinal tract. Xiang added. Here, shear stress is a natural mechanical force associated with food passing and contracting of gastrointestinal tract. We are currently investigating how shear stress's sensing of TrpA1 could contribute to gut tissue growth and function. Yeah. That's quite an article. Poking worms and talking about your gut feeling. If you're anxious, if you're sad, if you are disappointed, or whatever these kind of bad feelings, you feel it, and there's something mechanical going on. It's an undeniable fact that things matter, which is in a way the transmutation of elements in a little bit a different form. You get information from wherever. You get a letter, you open it, and there's like some bad news. Maybe you start to cry. Maybe you have to run to the toilet and take a dump. Maybe you start to freeze, but sweat at the same time, your fingers are shaking, all these kind of things. Someone calls you, you get a message, or whatsoever, wherever the information is coming from. It is just information. In any way, it is a picture, it's a sentence, it's whatsoever information. As it enters you through the organs which can perceive consciously information, nose, eyes, ears, skin, it transmutates into matter. If it's something which has significance, might it be positive or negative? The effects will be much bigger. If you scale that up in terms of Earth, like let's take planet Earth as the next bigger step. Let's leave out all the political things on Earth here, what people have between each other and all that. No. Let's take the next bigger organism, Earth. She's a living being. And if we scale it up, there might be, let's say, the information which is coming is from the sun mainly. Whatever, it's a solar flare or stuff like that. Fluctuations in the electromagnetic environment of some sort. And if it hits Earth, and Earth is in good shape, let's say the magnetosphere is strong and everything is well and the impact isn't that big, the effects will be rather small. But if there's a bigger impact, let's say a huge solar flare or whatsoever, the effects which it can have on the rest of the Earth might be huge. There can be, like, unimaginable big lightning strikes going on, like storms never ever could imagine possible on this little planet. It will leave marks. Earth is full of marks. Earth is made out of scars. Scars on top scars and scars on top of scars. Mountains, valleys, dendritical patterns, tetrahedrons, fulgurites, fulgomites, all these kinds, they're all scars. They're all telling the story of Earth's life. Everybody is scarred. Some have more, some have less. Some have rather more psychological scars than physical scars. Like I'm now talking about people. But everyone has scars. Everyone has his own imprint. Everyone is an individual. Same, but different. Everyone is the same. Everyone is different. Everyone recognizes every other human as a human. Despite not understanding a thing what the other one is saying. It doesn't matter. You will recognize a human as a human. And if there is now a big impact happening on Earth, now we are back to the planetary scale of things which matter, it will leave a mark on the surface or within or deeper under it. It will create whatever, like, mountains and craters and bad weather. Some will suffer from that things. And it's basically just the amount of stuff which is coming, which then is extracted into, let's say, actual matter, like rain, which is actual matter. For humans, if there is information coming in, if it's bad in certain ways, if it hurts you, you probably cry. Yeah, there's many people who don't never say that. Yeah, I've been crying. You cannot say that because it's a sign of weakness. You are not supposed to cry because, you are born and raised to be a winner. The whole life is a fucking competition. Everything is a competition. If you watch children's programs, everything is a competition. It's just really nicely made. There's always the good and always the bad, and always the good is fighting against the bad. It's always a competition. Like, I think all of the sports, whatever sports, you will find the way of making this sport in a competition, whatever it is. You will never see some TV program or something about sports. Usually it's like, no, it's not that you never see. Like, there are people like surfers and some other people, they are just doing it because they love it. And some people, they make reports or documentaries about these kind of things, about the sport itself. But usually, what people are interested to, what you see in the news, football, ice hockey, golf, tennis, whatsoever. All competitions. Everybody who's there, like, playing some tournament or whatsoever, it doesn't matter after all, because there's just one winner. The rest don't matter. There was just staticists, in order to fill the film, bystanders, those who carry the kings. Yeah. And it's interesting. Here, shear stress is a natural mechanical force associated with food passing and contracting of gastrointestinal tract. Maybe there's a word missing, probably, I don't know. Yeah, it's the guts feeling. That's very interesting. But I leave it here. This was a story about poking worms. Thanks. Bye.